Imagine standing in the middle of a stadium with 80,000 screaming fans around you. On the field, 11 men chasing a ball. But here's what no one is telling you. Before a single whistle blows, before one boot touches the grass, a financial war has already been fought. And the numbers are staggering. The 2026 FIFA World Cup is not just the biggest football tournament in history. It is the most expensive collection of human talent ever assembled on this planet. In one single tournament, at one single moment in time, 48 nations, over $17.5 billion in combined squad value, and a financial gap between the richest and poorest teams. So extreme. It tells you everything about how wealth, power, and football are connected. This is not a sports story. This is a story about money, about nations, about who gets to build empires, and who is left watching from the outside. Welcome back to Finance Sector. Let's follow the money. Let's start with the macro picture. Because the 2026 World Cup is not just bigger than its predecessors, it has shattered every financial benchmark ever set in football. For the first time in history, the tournament expanded to 48 teams and 104 matches, up from 64 just 4 years ago in Qatar. That single decision didn't just add games, it added billions. FIFA is projected to generate $9 billion in revenue from this tournament alone. $9 billion. Broadcasting rights have crossed $4.2 billion, a 30% increase over Qatar 2022. Sponsorship deals have exceeded $2.8 billion. And the combined economic impact on the three host nations, the United States, Canada, and Mexico, is estimated at a staggering $40.9 billion in GDP contribution. Think about that. One sporting event, $40.9 billion. For context, that's larger than the entire GDP of many countries participating in this very tournament. And the prize money? The champion team will walk away with $50 million. In 1982, Italy won the World Cup and took home $2.2 million. In 4 decades, the winner's prize has grown by over 2,000%. Football isn't just sport anymore. It's an industry, a geopolitical asset. And what happens on that pitch is, in many ways, a direct consequence of what happens in corporate boardrooms and government treasuries. Now let's get to the heart of it. The squads themselves. Before the tournament even began, analysts calculated the market value of every single squad. And what they found was a picture of extreme concentration. At the very top sits France. Their 26-man squad carries a combined market value of approximately 1.53 billion euros, making it not just the most valuable squad at this World Cup, but the most valuable national team ever assembled in football history. Their average player value, 60 million euros per player. Their headline act, Kylian Mbappé, alone is valued at 200 million euros. Right behind them is England, a squad powered by Premier League wealth, with players like Jude Bellingham, Bukayo Saka, and Phil Foden. Their combined value sits around 1.4 billion euros. The Premier League effect is real. When your domestic league is the richest in the world, your players' transfer values reflect that. Then comes Spain, with over 1 billion euros in squad value, anchored by Lamine Yamal, a 17-year-old, already valued at 200 million euros. Yes, a teenager. Germany and Portugal round out what we might call the €1 billion club. 5 nations, each squad worth over €1 billion. South America holds its ground. Brazil comes in 6th overall at roughly €912 million. Argentina, the reigning world champions, sit at around €820 million. Still elite, still feared. But here's where the story gets truly interesting. France's squad is worth approximately €1.53 billion. Jordan's squad, also in this tournament, is worth approximately €19.5 million. That is a ratio of 78 to 1. Let that sink in. France's squad is worth more than the combined value of the bottom 19 teams in this tournament. All of them together. Still less than France. This isn't random. This is the economic architecture of football, playing out in real time. Here's the mechanism. The world's most talented footballers move to Europe's top 5 leagues: England, Spain, Germany, Italy, France. Those leagues pay the highest salaries, generate the most broadcast revenue, and attract the biggest global audiences. When players compete at that level, their transfer values explode. So when you look at the squad values, you are not just seeing football talent. You are seeing which countries have historically exported their best players to European leagues. Which countries benefit from the infrastructure those leagues provide. Which countries have football systems capable of identifying talent early. Brazil exports talent to Europe, and its players are valued at nearly $1 billion. Jordan's players mostly compete in regional leagues with far smaller audiences, and the market reflects that brutally. And what about Africa? Morocco leads the continent at €488 million. Senegal at €473 million. Both squads propelled by players who have moved to Europe. Africa is closing the gap, but the $1 billion threshold remains firmly in European hands. Now, here is the question everyone wants answered. Does all of this money actually matter on the pitch? The data gives us a complicated answer. France, the most valuable squad, has historically been among the tournament favorites. They won in 1998, reached the final in 2006 and 2022. The financial power translates into quality. But then look at Argentina. In Qatar 2022, they were ranked 8th by squad value. 8th. Their squad was worth several hundred million less than England's, Brazil's, France's. They won anyway. Or go further back. Greece won the 2004 European Championship with one of the least valuable squads in the tournament. Leicester City, a team many had never heard of, won the English Premier League in 2016. The bookmakers gave them 5,000 to 1 odds. So money is necessary, but not sufficient. It buys depth, it buys options, it buys the ability to replace an injured star without losing quality. But it cannot buy chemistry. It cannot buy a moment of individual genius. And it absolutely cannot buy the hunger of a team that has nothing to lose. The most dangerous team in any World Cup is often not the most expensive one. It's the team that looks at the giants and decides, today, we have nothing to fear. Let's go one layer deeper, because the squad value story reveals something bigger about the global economy of football. Why does Europe dominate this list so completely? The answer starts with broadcasting money. The English Premier League alone generates over $6 billion per year. in broadcast rights. 6 billion per year. The top 5 European leagues combined control the overwhelming majority of football's global commercial value. That money flows to clubs. Clubs pay record transfer fees. Transfer fees set the market price of players. And market price determines national squad value. This creates a structural advantage that compounds over decades. A player born in France moves to Paris Saint-Germain at 17, transfers to Real Madrid at 21 for 180 million euros, and his value, and by extension, France's squad value, reflects every euro of that journey. Meanwhile, a player of equal natural talent, born in Jordan, who never gets that European pathway, remains invisible to the global market. This is not a football problem. It's an economic problem, a distribution of opportunity problem. The same structural inequality we see in global trade, in technology access, in capital markets. It shows up here in the squad value rankings of a football tournament. And here is where it gets truly uncomfortable. Jordan earns $9 million for participating in this World Cup. France's squad is valued at 1.6 billion euros. The prize money is symbolic. The structural gap remains. So as this tournament unfolds, what should we watch for? History suggests the winner almost always comes from the top 8 in squad value. Since reliable data began, only teams within the top 10 most valuable squads have won the World Cup. The financial ceiling matters, but the path to the final is unpredictable. Dark horses emerge. Tactical innovations can neutralize individual quality, and the expanded 48-team format, with more matches, more variables, more chaos, means upsets are more likely than ever. Watch Morocco. Their squad punches above its market cap on nearly every metric. They reached the semifinals in 2022 with a squad half the value of their opponents. Half. Watch Colombia. Watch Ecuador. Emerging sides with growing European contingents. And watch the numbers. Because at some point in this tournament, the most valuable squad will be eliminated. And when it happens, it will remind us of something fundamental. You can price a player. You cannot price a moment. We started this video talking about a ball on a field. But what we've really been talking about is power. The same forces we've seen shape gold markets, currency crises, and oil agreements. Those same forces shape who stands on a World Cup pitch and what their team is worth. The $17.5 billion assembled across 48 squads didn't appear by accident. It was built by decades of investment, migration of talent, broadcasting deals, and economic development. The squad value rankings of the 2026 World Cup are, in a very real sense, a map of global economic inequality expressed through the language of football. France's billion-dollar squad reflects a country with a pipeline into Europe's richest clubs. Jordan's $19 million squad reflects the distance between the global center and the global periphery. And that distance, 78-1, is not just a football statistic. It is the story of our world. The next time you watch a match, remember, every goal scored is not just a moment of athletic brilliance. It is the product of an economic system that stretches back decades. And the scoreboard only tells you who won the game, not who won the money. If this kind of analysis changes how you see the world, not just sports, but power, money, and the systems behind them, subscribe to Finance Sector because this World Cup is just beginning. See you in the next one.